Korea, a land of rich history, vibrant culture, and profound resilience. It is a nation whose past has been shaped by dynasties, invasions, colonial rule, and ultimately, a division that still echoes across its borders today. In this documentary, we unravel the story of Korea, exploring its historical unity, the turmoil of its separation, and how this division has shaped both North and South Korea as we know them. Our story begins in ancient times, when Korea emerged as a unified land under the Goguryeo, Baekje, and Silla kingdoms. By 668 AD, the Silla kingdom unified the peninsula, setting the stage for a cultural and political identity that would endure for centuries. Korea thrived under the Goryeo dynasty, 918–1392, which gave the land its modern name, and later the Joseon dynasty, 1392–1897. The Joseon dynasty was a golden age for Korea. Confucianism guided governance and society, while advancements in science, art, and philosophy flourished. But Korea's isolationist policies, designed to protect its sovereignty, earned it the nickname the Hermit Kingdom. This isolation could not shield Korea from the tides of global change forever. By the late 19th century, imperial powers were vying for influence in East Asia. Korea, sandwiched between China, Japan, and Russia, became a focal point of geopolitical competition. The First Sino-Japanese War, 1894–1895, and the Russo-Japanese War, 1904–1905, cemented Japan's dominance in the region. In 1910, Japan formally annexed Korea, beginning a period of colonial rule that lasted until the end of World War II in 1945. Under Japanese occupation, Korea suffered immense cultural and economic oppression. Korean language and traditions were suppressed, while industrial resources were exploited for Japan's military ambitions. Despite the hardships, the Korean people resisted, with uprisings like the March 1st movement of 1919, which showcased their longing for independence. World War II brought the collapse of the Japanese Empire, creating a power vacuum in Korea. The Allies, unprepared for Korea's sudden liberation, hastily divided the peninsula along the 38th parallel in 1945. The Soviet Union occupied the north, while the United States took control of the south. What was intended as a temporary arrangement quickly became permanent. In 1948, two separate governments were established. The North, led by Kim Il-sung, became the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, a communist state backed by the Soviet Union. The South, under Syngman Rhee, became the Republic of Korea, supported by the United States. Ideological differences turned into animosity, setting the stage for conflict. The Korean War erupted on June 25, 1950, when North Korean forces, backed by the Soviet Union and China, invaded the South. The world watched as the Cold War turned hot on the Korean peninsula. The United Nations, led by the United States, intervened on behalf of South Korea. The war raged on for 3 years, claiming millions of lives and devastating the land. An armistice was signed in 1953, but no peace treaty was ever concluded. The Korean peninsula remained divided along the Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, a heavily fortified border that stands to this day. In the decades that followed, North and South Korea embarked on dramatically different paths. North Korea became a totalitarian state under the Kim dynasty, prioritizing military strength and ideological purity. Its economy stagnated, and its people faced famine and isolation. South Korea, on the other hand, embraced democracy and capitalism. Through rapid industrialization and technological innovation, it transformed into a global economic powerhouse. Cities like Seoul became symbols of modernity and progress. Despite their divergent trajectories, the division remained a constant source of tension. Sporadic attempts at reconciliation, such as family reunions and peace talks, offered glimmers of hope but were often overshadowed by political and military provocations. The division of Korea is not just a political story, it is a deeply human one. Millions of families were separated by the 38th parallel, left to wonder about the fate of their loved ones across the border. Even today, the scars of division run deep, as older generations yearn for reunification, while younger generations grapple with its feasibility. The DMZ, though a symbol of division, has also become a strange paradox, a site of hope and potential. It remains one of the most fortified borders in the world, yet it has also been the backdrop for historic summits and gestures of diplomacy. Efforts toward reunification have waxed and waned over the years. Leaders from both Koreas have met on several occasions, with moments like the 2018 Inter-Korean Summit sparking optimism. However, political and ideological differences, coupled with the geopolitical interests of surrounding nations, continue to complicate the path forward. For South Korea, reunification is seen as a way to heal the wounds of history and strengthen the Korean identity. For North Korea, it presents a challenge to its existing power structure. Meanwhile, the international community watches closely, understanding the profound global implications of any shift in the status quo. As we reflect on Korea's history, we see a land shaped by resilience and perseverance. Its division is a poignant reminder of the lasting impact of war and the complexities of geopolitics. Yet the Korean people continue to forge ahead, carrying the hope of a united future. What lies ahead for Korea? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the story of Korea is far from over. Thank you for watching this documentary. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories that shape our world.